see that I'm running a little bit low on time. I wanted to talk some about the mission, because the mission was really, I sort of think of as my neighborhood. I came to San Francisco, or I came to the Bay Area in 1983 to go to graduate school at Berkeley. And I mostly lived in the East Bay until the last decade when I made the jump across the Great Water. Now I live in Bernal, but I lived in the East Bay for a long time, was at Berkeley, but all of my playground was San Francisco, you know, and particularly the Mission. You know, it was the space that I felt more comfortable in. It was more economically diverse. It was a place where it was easier to be genderqueer. I was involved in the leather community. There was a lot of leather going on there, especially like queer women's leather. You know, and that neighborhood doesn't really exist anymore either. But I think about how it shaped me, you know, sort of shaped who I am. You know, it was really the kind of the community that I was coming out into in the later 80s and early 90s. And that, you know, I think now about, you know, what it is that I do for a living, and that I teach in universities, and I do a lot of, you know, public speaking. I travel with the film, and I truly, like, circulate globally at this point in my life. And I think about how it is that, you know, like, my sense of self, my modes of embodiment, you know, were really shaped by this local, you know, very local scene in San Francisco. But now, because of how my body moves through the world, you know, that it kind of leaves its trace of the thing that made me, you know, out in the world, and that it queers the space that it moves through. And so, like, what kind of community does that make? You know, because I really feel like, you know, where do I live now? I live in a house in Bernal that has a broadband internet connection, and my community is, like, not only the people who, you know, I run into at Rainbow Grocery, or, you know, when I'm down on Market Street or something, but it's people in Amsterdam or Sydney or Vancouver or New York, and that, you know, I move between these places, and I have my life with those people, and I have my life with people here in San Francisco. But it's like, it's not that I feel like I've lost community, I just feel like it's been spatialized differently. And that, you know, I don't want to romanticize the past, or make it, or nor do I want to make the kinds of communities that shaped me any less significant than they were. But I just want to, like, be alive to the fact that cities and neighborhoods have to be like living spaces that we continue to occupy in these really intentional and conscious ways, and that we will take that community with us into the future, even if it's shaped a little differently than it was in the past.